Blessings. I'm Iyanla Vanzant, and welcome to the R Spot. This is where we get to talk about and examine and explore all things related to relationships. Now, if this is your first time with us, we are so glad you have joined us. And don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel so you'll get a notice every time there's a new R Spot episode. And for all of you who are returning, we are continuing our conversation about leaving a relationship. And today's conversation is a difficult one. It's the conversation about what to do and how to be when you are the one who is being left. That is never an easy place to be. Trust me when I say I know a lot about this experience, because I have been left by the best and the worst. I have been left in the morning, I've been left in the night. I've been left privately, I've been left publicly. Listen, one guy went to the store to get some bread and never came back. So I know what it feels like to be left. Now, leaving a relationship is hard enough, but when you are the one who is being left, well, let's just say that it's not pretty. And what makes it ugly is how you behave. Now, whether it is in a marriage or a loving, intimate relationship or a friendship or a situation that you wanted to be more that went absolutely nowhere, the first response to being left is hurt. And hurt is swiftly followed up by anger. So, let's deal with the hurt. When you care about or love or want to be with or want more from somebody who chooses not to be with you, it is perfectly normal to feel hurt. Hurt is the soul's way of expressing, I'm not getting the love that I want. Now, if we could stay right there in that thought, in that emotion, in that experience, we would be fine in time. However, immediately after having that thought that I'm hurt, the ego kicks in, and the litany of ego-driven, fear-based, toxic thoughts and emotion rush to the surface. Things like, well, what's the matter with me? Why don't they want me? What did I do wrong? And this quickly goes downhill. Look what they did to me. Look what they're doing to me. Look what I did for them. They're taking something away from me. I'm losing the love that I want. They tricked me. They lied. The list goes on, and it is not pretty. And all of this is fear-based, anger-driven, toxic emotions. You see, one of the greatest human fears is losing love. So when someone we love or want to love leaves us, fear rushes to the surface, fuels the anger, and fear wears many faces. The best way to stop the fear from fueling the anger and making all sorts of crazy chatter in the head is to focus on the hurt. Now, I know that sounds crazy, but the soul can manage the hurt while it's ego that drives the fear and the anger. You see, the soul can soothe the heart and the hurt, while the ego wants revenge and punishment. So when you are the one who is being left, my coaching to you would be focus on the hurt. Give yourself permission to sit in it, to be with it, to feel it, knowing that your soul will help you move to the other end. And none of us want to admit that we're hurt, because somehow or another we think that hurt is a reflection of weakness, that we got taken over, or that we got taken advantage of, that we were stupid or dumb. All of that is ego. Hurt is not a sign of weakness. It is a sign that you are alive and capable of loving. Love will heal all your wounds, even when you are the one who's being left. You still have love in your heart, in your soul. So go ahead and hurt and stay out of your head trying to figure out why. Why is never a question that can be satisfied because it is driven by the ego. Why is a question that's also driven by fear, and therefore it can never be satisfied because the ego is never satisfied. That little part of you that makes you wrong, that makes you the bad guy, that makes somebody else the bad guy, that part of you, that part of our consciousness, that part of our humanness can never be satisfied. So if you're the one who is being left, you want to stay away from why. When you are the one who's being left, you want to stay out of anger. Now, running neck and neck with the hurt is that ego-driven rage. When you are the one who is being left in a relationship, rage, anger, these are also natural responses. You tried so hard. You wanted it so much. You gave so much, and still you are being left. And that will generate a high state of pissosity. Anger is the ego's response to feeling or believing that we're powerless. When someone or something encroaches upon our sense of power, and when we believe that our right or sense of control has been limited, anger is the ego-driven, fear-based response. If someone wants to end their relationship with you, it will give rise to a feeling of powerlessness because there is nothing that you can do to make them stay once they've made their mind up that they're going. And you feel powerless. You feel that your control has been limited or taken away. And you want to rage, and you want to be angry, and you want to reach out and strike out. That is not going to turn out well for you. You're going to lose your dignity. Don't do it. Don't fight. Focus on the hurt, because your soul can handle it with time and care. Anger is going to get you nowhere quick, and it will probably motivate you to do and say things that will cause great harm to your dignity, your honor, and your self-respect. Now, it doesn't matter if the relationship is 6 weeks old, 6 months old, 6 years old, or even more. When you are the one who is being left, hurt, fear, anger, and rage are going to challenge you, but they need not win. So, just what do you do? How should you behave, Miss Iyanla? Well, beloved, here's what I know. Everything has a reason and a season. And when the reason is fulfilled or the season ends, the relationship will follow suit. You may not like it, and chances are you don't want it to end. But you also have to be honest with yourself, because relationships don't just end. They end over time. But when someone tells you that they are leaving you, that the relationship you are having with them has come to an end, take it in, feel the hurt, breathe through the anger, and never, never, never ask why. Let's go back for a moment. I want to make this point again. Relationships don't just end. They end over a period of time. There was something you heard or saw or felt that gave you a clue that something was going afoot and awry. You may not have wanted to see it or know it, but somewhere deep inside, you knew long before you heard the words or experienced the final blow. Now, the questions become, what did you do with that knowing? What did you do with those feelings? These questions are important because that is where you will find your learning, and that is where you will find your healing. Asking yourself, when did I know this wasn't going to work, and why did I stay? When you are being left in a relationship, why is not important. When is not important. You are important. So take care of yourself. How? Well, hopefully you have a good friend or confidant that you can speak to share your thoughts and feelings. Hopefully this person can listen without commentary. If you don't have such a person, a living physical being to turn to, then turn to God or your journal and just let it rip. Let out everything you're feeling, everything you're thinking, so that you can gain clarity and move beyond the hurt and the anger with grace. So again, express your feelings to someone other than the person who is leaving you. Now, the next thing you want to do is you want to be gentle with yourself. Be gentle. Be gentle in your thinking. Be gentle with your approach to everything. Give yourself time to settle in to this new reality. Because when someone is choosing to end their relationship with you, they are making a choice, a hard choice. And whether you believe it or not, in most cases, it's not easy for them either. So as you're being gentle with yourself, you'll be able to be gentle with them. So when a relationship ends, regardless of the circumstances or the whys, what you need for your healing and growth is time and closure. Now, that's where the next step, the tricky step, comes in. But it is very, very necessary. Ask what you need to ask, knowing that you may never get an answer that stops the hurt or calms the anger. I remember once when I was being left, and I'm telling you, I've been left, okay? And the person that was leaving had the decency to tell me that they were leaving, because you know, some people don't. I asked him a very simple question. It was, is there anything that I could have done or not done which would have made this better? You know what he said? No, not really. We both did the best we could, and it's just time for me to go. Then I asked him for 3 days to take it in, and then we'd figure out how we were going to do it. 3 days later, after I had ranted and raged like a lunatic with my friends, I asked him not to call me for at least 30 days. I also asked him not to answer if I called him. In other words, I asked for what I wanted and needed to get through the first stage, the anger and the hurt stage, when I knew my behavior would be totally unpredictable. And he agreed, and we made it through those 30 days. Did I miss him? Absolutely. Did it hurt? It hurt like hell. Like the I can't breathe hurt, I can't eat or sleep hurt. Was I mad? I was a stark, raving lunatic. But I stayed in my journal. I cried my little heart out. I prayed, and I maintained my dignity. Now, it must have been around day 22 when all of my friends were sick of hearing about it and him and my outrage and about every thought that I had. But I had a thought, and this was it. I refuse to allow myself to want somebody who doesn't want me. I refuse to give myself permission to desire someone who cannot, does not, will not meet my desires. And I simply refuse to think about it anymore. And once I had that thought, everything seemed to shift. You know, why on God's green earth would I want to be with someone who doesn't want to be with me? Am I crazy? So sure, the companionship is nice, a warm body is comforting, but hey, I love me. I want me. I like being with me. And that's when it happened. That's when I realized that all the love and all the energy that I was given to him, it was mine. And I could give it to myself. I could love on me. I could spend time with me. I could cherish and adore me and take care of me. And hot diggity damn, what a revelation. All of a sudden, instantly, I'm telling you, instantly, everything changed. When I refused to follow my pattern of chasing after people who did not want me, everything changed. You know, when you're the one being left, don't focus on the other person. Focus on you. Nurture and nourish you. This, my beloved, is the way that you'll discover that the love you were giving is the love that you are. You lost the person, but not the love. You may have to shift some things around and change some priorities, but your loving you will keep you strong. What I learned by being left was the depth and capacity of my own love. My goodness. Now, I know this is not easy. I know it's easy to say and hard to do, but I also learned through the experience that there's a call and wisdom in the soul. And when you let go, you can go into your own soul, your own love, and discover many things about your life that will prepare you to love again. What I'm talking about here is not a cakewalk, nor is it for punks. To honor your hurt and give yourself permission to feel it and be with it, to breathe through anger with compassion and dignity without acting out, and to ask for what you want without backpedaling and taking the easy way out, calling, whining, blaming, begging. To be left, dropped, rejected, abandoned, and to refuse to believe you deserve it or that you did something to cause it. Now, this is not for the faint of heart, but it is a path to healing and growth and the evolution of your soul. Now, there are some practical considerations, when you're ending a marriage where there are children and property involved, or when you're ending a long-term relationship where there's friends and family and other people involved, or when you're ending a relationship or friendship after years and years of knowing and loving and trusting. These are not things that can be taken lightly, and we're going to explore them in a future episode and examine some of the intricacies of ending relationships where children are involved or shifting your involvement in family relationship. But what I'm offering you right now, right here today, is the way out of a relationship, any relationship, where your heart and soul are at stake. It is simple. Refuse to want to be somewhere where you are not wanted, honored, respected, and where your love cannot be returned in full measure. Take all the love that you were focusing outward and turn it on yourself. Trust me, you'll figure out how to do it. You absolutely will. Now, don't get caught up in the drama of the hurt and the anger. Feel it, deal with it, and let it go. I know this is not easy, but I also know from experience it is doable. And if you will trust yourself, honor yourself, and do your damnedest to love yourself, I can promise you, you will attract the right person at the right time who will love you for you, measure for measure. This is a hard one, but like I said, it's doable. And it also brings us to the subject of our next R-Spot conversation. Just what kind of relationship are you having with yourself? Join me next time. And in the meantime, stay in peace, not pieces.